Hey guys, it's Roscoe, and on the Space Couch today we're going to be having our in-depth look at this, the Star Wars concept art. There is the back. I'll just slip it out of its cover to make it easier to go through. So, there we are. That's the snowtroopers in front of the AT-AT foot, and there is that tank that we discussed previously. So what do we have? Here we go. We saw this in the calendar. What's interesting about this is the Skywalker character at this point was female. Let's bring it a little bit closer and you can see it is a female. I never knew that, so that is interesting. Let's see. There is some concept art for clones versus a droid battleship. You can see the core has crashed there. That is from Attack of the Clones. So that one. Now this, of course, very famous painting. This is the one that, of course, inspired Anthony Daniels to take on the role of C-3PO. He felt that it was just gazing at him and he needed to know more. You see R2 there is the early concept. That's very much like Chopper, of course, in Rebels. And speaking of Rebels, the face on the original 3PO is being used in the episode where there's an Imperial droid on the base. It looks like that. Again, another very, very famous painting. The original version of the Millennium Falcon. You see Han standing there. You see Luke, Ben, Chewie, R2, who's just come down the stairs somehow, and C-3PO. Obviously, we see BB-8 doing it in The Force Awakens. Now, this also very famous. This is when I think originally all stormtroopers were going to be issued with lightsabers just as a standard weapon. What is interesting about this is set on the floating prison planet of Alderaan. Yes, it's funny, all those concepts, they come together in different ways. There is a great one of Lord Vader, an early concept of that. That's a detail from the front. Let's see. Now, obviously, this I think we saw in the calendar, but this is a great one of the X-Wing crashed in the swamp in Dagobah with Luke and with R2. So that. Cloud City, always loved Cloud City. Not quite the final design here, I think. I'm sure it's not quite as fat, as it were, as that. But yes, amazing location. I wonder if we'll see it again. Here are two battle stations, Death Star types, in orbit. Obviously, this one is under construction still. That was for Return of the Jedi. This is also a good one. You see R2 and 3PO there. This is very much like the stuff they did for Alderaan. And what is that flying creature? Does it say on the page before? Be the page after. A rebel flying taxi on the grass planet Sesamon. That was for Return of the Jedi. Here we go. This is from the end of Attack of the Clones, where Count Dooku goes to see Palpatine. I'm not sure. Either that or it's when the shuttle is taking... Oh, that's actually for Return of the Jedi. So I guess that was then used in the prequel trilogy years later. There's Boba Fett. That's kind of like how he looks, I think, in Droids. This is, I think, from Droids or concept art for it. Slightly different style of animation. Ewoks. Won't spend too much time on them. Did they all die in the global Holocaust after the Death Star was destroyed on Endor? Here we have Gungans and cities at Gungan City. I'm not sure what its name was. Otto Gunga. Concept art from Phantom Menace. This, I suspect, has influenced the early part of The Force Awakens, of course. Pod racing accident. That pod racing sequence was far too long, in my opinion. Saw those before. Tapoca City on Camino, an early concept of it, very dark. Yes, almost looks more like a volcanic world with all the red from the sunset, but there are waves in there at the bottom. It's some aliens. For Attack of the Clones, they were for. This is more concept art for Attack of the Clones. Love this. This is great. That looks like a submarina. This is the Geonosis Execution Arena. We saw that one before. Did we see this one? I don't recall. It's a great image of the tank and the clone troopers on Geonosis. Here we go. Clone troopers and transports. There, that will be the lightsaber fight between Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan, and there's Dooku's ship there. Separatist warships. Fantastic images in this. This is from the Battle of Coruscant at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith. Hold there for a moment, you can actually see what it is you're looking at. So there's Coruscant below, and it looks like the two Star Destroyers, the Forans or whatever they're called, are pointing right at that planet, heading towards it. Concept for General Grievous here. More insect-like, I guess. Utapau Dignitary from Revenge of the Sith. And that's when Obi-Wan pursues Grievous through the city on Utapau. What is this? They're still battling on the landing platform this time. There they are. There is some... That's his... whatever his creature is called. Concept for it. There's a great one. Clone troopers to the rescue. Well, only until Order 66. What is this? It's the crystal planet of Magneto. Another battle there. Again, I think this is from Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. Limousine speeder for the Coruscant Opera House. Now I wonder, because you know that Croatian film, there's a bit where there's some fancy land speeder, air speeder like this, gets blown up. I wonder if it's influenced by this. I guess we'll find out when the movie comes out. There's the Wookiee glider on Kashyyyk, I think it is. There's another craft there, that might be an earlier version of it. That's a Magneto fighting craft. It's a Wookiee catamaran, sorry. Here's another one from Kashyyyk. Always had a soft spot for Kashyyyk, and in every version, canon or legends, it's always been dominated by giant trees with lethal ecosystems. This is an ATT on Felucia. Now that lady there in the blue, this was for Revenge of the Sith, but I think that's clearly inspired Asajj Ventress, who's one of those great female villains in Star Wars. There's not enough female villains in Star Wars. I'm sure that will be resolved in upcoming movies. This is Polis Massa, I think, which is where Luke and Leia are actually born when Padme dies of a broken heart. There is the Alderaanian ship that we all know so well, the Tantive 4. This is how I remember it in the end of Revenge of the Sith. So I think this is very similar to that final version. So this is Alderaan, that will be Queen Breha, as we now know that she's called, with baby Leia. A Twi'lek, and I think it's Nute Gunray. Yeah, it's Catum and Nemoidian. Raxus, that was the capital planet of the Separatists, had that beautiful Parliament building that we see once or twice in the Clone Wars. Very much like the British Parliament, but more elegant. Now, Cad Bane, some concepts for him. He's a great character. He's going to turn up in Darth Maul comic, apparently. He's on the cover of the next issue. Auto Plutonia, which you did see the image of the canyon in one of the quick looks I think we had at this. This was for the cancelled show Star Wars Detours. That's essentially going to just take the mickey out of their own show. So there we have a rather deflated looking Jabba. And there we have Vader in his chamber. Some droid concepts. More of the same. This is for the Force Unleashed video game. So yeah, that's a great image, isn't it? A corpse droid. Yeah. See, it's just eyeballs and the brain floating in the jar. Looks like a face. What was that other one? That's a concept for a droid. So that. This is, I think, for Force Unleashed as well. Who is that? Is that, what was his name? Was it Starkiller, Jedi Killer, whatever his name was? Darth Vader's secret apprentice. I'm sure that he did something like this for the splitting of the bridge in half. Bounty hunters. This is for Star Wars Jedi Alliance video game from the Clone Wars. So you see the two sides plotting their strategies. Yeah, so there's Ahsoka and Anakin, and there is Dooku and Grievous. Here we go. Is he a bounty hunter? Yes. Sith warrior. Very Darth Bane like the mask, isn't it? I'm not sure what that is. What is that? A two-person armed speeder. Apprentice. Evil Apprentice here. And Raxus Prime. What is that for? The Force Unleashed. Assault on Kashyyyk by Walkers, again for the Force Unleashed. There's a great image. Fantastic. Poor Wookiees. For such a peaceful people, they don't have trouble getting invaded and enslaved. There we go. There is a fight in a courtyard. I think that's for the Force Unleashed also. First Assault. This is also for First Assault. Very much like the cover of Battlefront Twilight, the book. I forget exactly the name of it. Twilight Company, something like that. The Night Sister, and when I think they're on Rhodia here, underwater. There's the Night Sister. The Night Sisters of Dathomir. Some evil creatures. I hate spiders and anything like them, as you know. Coruscant Underworld, so this will be some dive bar where all these, I assume, loathsome individuals are plotting their next score. This is a police cruiser for the Coruscant Underworld. And the surface, well, the rich people live like senators. The top level of Coruscant, that's a beautiful apartment. Must be a senator. This is Coruscant Street. This leaves us with a proposed 1313 game. And this, an Imperial portal in the Federal Zone on Coruscant. Again for that 1313 game. Some gambling going on there. With a horrible looking creature versus a person, and there's a guy with a lightsaber. An alien Jedi. More from the Coruscant underworld. There is someone who looks very threatening. That's the image from the back cover of the Star Destroyer with its docking bay, and there's the other docking base you can see on the Coruscant surface. There's another Star Destroyer. And that, I think, is that. Anything else? No. So that was just our in-depth look at the Star Wars concept art. Fantastic images in there, very inspiring. Some of them so well known they went straight into the films. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or suggestion for an upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.